Let me open this up. Brinda Adige, women's rights activist, is with us. We also have Deepali Bhatt. She's a model and an entrepreneur from Bengaluru. Dr. Harish Shetty, psychiatrist. Khushbu Jain, a lawyer from the Supreme Court. All of them joining us today on the broadcast to try and understand this issue, how it can be dealt with, and whether there is a way, to get away from it. And more importantly, can establishments really take steps to ensure that this does not happen? I'll come across first to Deepali Bhatt here. Deepali, at this point in time, I'm going to ask you at the outset, when incidents like this come to the fore, do women really feel that, is there a place safe enough for them? We've seen incidents like this in trial rooms where cameras have been kept in, shopping malls. Now we're looking at a cafe where an employee is planting a camera there. How does this make you feel?
I'd firstly like to begin by saying, see, as it is, day-to-day activities are very difficult for us. Like, even stepping out of the house, we get dirty stares. Trying to cross the road, people, try to just like play around. If you're walking in a crowded area, they take advantage of that and brush past you. Now, when you speak of places like, which are slightly on the higher end, we automatically assume that people are well educated and dignified, and that's the reason we prefer going there and paying that extra money to get even a simple coffee. Now, if we do not have our safety even in such places, in spite of being among such literate crowd, then I really don't know. Should we fear like every step and every second that we live and go through our daily life, or how is it? Because as it is, being a woman is difficult. I'm sure you can understand what I'm trying to say. Like, you go out and ask any woman, I'm sure there is not anyone who's said that I've never been teased or I've never felt unsafe. For us, every day is a challenge, and such things happening just, add more trouble and pressure onto us. So I don't think that feeling of safety or security I have felt, and these things just make it worse.
Yeah, especially like you were mentioning, of course, for example, a coffee shop, many of them today who have an option of working remotely prefer going to coffee shops. They spend long hours there. This is a place that they assume is safe, considering the crowds that come there. And they don't think that, something can go wrong. And when an incident like this really comes about, it really shakes you, and it shakes the conscience of many people, of course,
absolutely,
who are given taking a vow to ensure that, they should protect women and their safety. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm saying that, given the Bangalore traffic and the long journeys, etc., I look out for places like Starbucks or something to just take a washroom break. Now, I'm scared. Where am I to go? Like, even basic necessities like this has become a hassle if such incidences keep coming. And who is to blame here? Where do you start the blame game, and how do you just refine and, sort of make sure that such basic safety procedures are followed and we feel safe?
Okay, let me bring in Khushbu Jain here. Khushbu, the question that's being asked is who do we blame? And, how do you put an end to this? And at the end of it, if you could also give us a perspective as to women who go through something like this, what are the options before them? And under the new law, is there more stringent punishment? Is that a way to deter such perverts? Or, bring in laws so that, you have establishments that could have probably they could bring in more accountability, do thorough background checks of their employees?
You have answered the question with your question. Let me go step by step with the section. We have got new law in place, the new BNS. Now that BNS specifically talks about voyeurism, and voyeurism is something that is punishable up to 3 years. It's up to 1 year if anybody is found who is watching or capturing or disseminating any private images of a woman without their consent. Now, this term private act is also defined over there very clearly. So anybody who's doing the crime for the first time can be punishable up to from 1 year to 3 years. The same is there in the IT Act as well, where it's punishable offense up to 3 years. If the person is found to be committing this crime second time, third time, the punishment can go up to 7 years. So punishments are there. Now, the second aspect that comes is implementation of these laws and making sure that timely justice has been done to the women so that it becomes as an example. It should be viral by channels like you. So that let's say this starts, the trial completes in a specific time period. The punishment has been given to the culprit. So that sets an example that if you do such kind of an act, the punishment is this, and that has also been implemented and the person goes behind the bar. This is one example which can be taken care of. Apart from this, the second layer of question of yours was that who do we blame? How do we feel safe? Yes, every second day you're taking up situations where a woman is being, when it comes to hostel, when it comes to cafe, when it comes to changing room, when it comes to taking an auto rickshaw, we are feeling unsafe. How much, where, what all places do we need what?
Yeah.
This change has to come on the part when it comes to making sure that there is an accountability. And then accountability is where I'm talking about that at least when it comes to public places, certain measures have to be taken care of. I was very advocating the aspect of having CCTV cameras and other things. But apart from this, in scenarios like this, we need to have a mechanism in place where these companies who are offering changing rooms, private areas where washrooms or other scenarios like this are the places where you need to have a regular check, regular inspection that can be taken care of. You need to sensitize your employees about that. There should be a regular check about their their well-being and their mental state, where what mental state they are into and what exactly not. They can go to a layer next where digital devices of the employees are being regularly being checked upon. There should be a supervisor at these areas who can have that inspection being done. I understand that the company sitting in place A and having offices or their branches in 40 different locations, you cannot blame a company sitting, a corporate office sitting there. But the way you have other things, you have this entire management, let them have management who looks into these areas as well, so that these areas become secure. We can't tomorrow think of, if such kind of situation comes, we are back to the same scenario where your parents are scared to send your daughter to those cafes or to take public transport or to do such things. So all this fight goes for a toss if we don't bring in those kind of accountability and those measures in place which are regularly being taken care of.
Well, very interesting points that you made. To add to a few, while I was, of course, discussing this matter with a few people, and of course, many of them have been talking about it. They say, women now say that they're even worried to, shop at any store where they'll have to use the trial room. They instead prefer online shopping because, they fear something like this could happen.